What are some hard to swallow pills about relationships? They aren't going to magically know you're upset with them. They aren't going to read your passive aggressive signs. They aren't going to pick up on that. Be direct. If you are upset, talk to your partner about it. Not your friends. Not you parents. Not strangers on the internet, your partner. Not communicating can lead to rifts that never seal. At a certain point, you have to accept some particular negative parts of your partner's personality, or move on. My husband is almost 50. We've been married for over 20 years. While he will continue to experience personal growth, there are parts of his personality that are likely to not ever change. The same is true for myself, of course. You either accept it without grudge, or if it's something you can't be flexible with, you move on. People who think they can fix things about their partner are doomed to be in a constant state of disappointment. Eventually, love is not being crazy in love all the time. People not realizing this is a huge cause for divorce, I believe. After the first year or two, things settle down and become normal. That's okay. A deeper love will form, but it's not going to be the crazy, passionate puppy dog love it was at first. Things evolve and change. I want to add that's not to say that you can't have moments of puppy dog love later. You just have to actively create them. Buy a set of candles and toss some rose petals on a table for dinner with their favorite song. Draw them something cute. Sing them a stupid little song about how you're feeling. Hold hands when you walk into the grocery store. Set up a picnic at a park. Share some wine and watch a good movie. Moments don't have to naturally happen to be wonderful. Sometimes you can just make your own moment to remember forever. You could do everything right and still lose. Losing your identity within a relationship is easy to do. Finding it again isn't. Remember to keep your friends and hobbies. After my last relationship ended, I felt guilty for not hurting. I was kind of happy, back in my garage, working on cars with my friends, took a few road trips, my phone was quiet. Shit was cool. You can't look for someone else to be your other half, you have to learn how to be a whole person on your own. This means being able to take care of your own emotional needs, too. You can't be responsible for someone else's happiness. My wife and I enhance each other's joy. Example. She loves going to concerts and often my schedule means I can't go, or occasionally the tickets are expensive, and it's someone I'm not a big fan of, so she goes without me. But if I can, I go, and if the tickets are cheap, even if I'm not a fan, I go. She likes it when I'm there and says it's better, but she still has fun without me. In a good relationship, you help lessen the bad and increase the good. Putting off ending things for fear of hurting someone's feelings is the worst possible idea. If the relationship isn't right and you know you don't want to be together, then sparing someone's feelings in the short term only leads to more pain later down the line. Be honest and front the horrible conversation. This is something I'm struggling with right now. They are a great person and I don't want to hurt them, but I think my feelings have changed. It makes me sad and a little sick to my stomach to even think about hurting her. People keep changing as their life goes on, and there are no guarantees that you and your partner will change in compatible ways. Someone can be your soulmate today, but in a year the person they've become may not be the soulmate of the person you've become. While you shouldn't simply give up on a relationship the moment you hit a rough patch, you also shouldn't let a happy past keep you in a miserable present. You should not be anxious about the relationship all the time. You shouldn't be stressed about if they love you or if they're going to leave you or if they're out cheating on you or what they're thinking. It shouldn't be a major source of stress. In fact, if it's a good partnership, both of your lives should be easier. The old adage about relationships being hard work isn't really accurate. Being with them shouldn't be hard or a battle. It's more accurate to say that a good relationship takes effort, like you should both be striving for open communication, handle conflict in a healthy way, make each other happy, but it shouldn't be exhausting or hard or stressful to be with them. They should be a source of comfort. It takes two to be in a relationship. If one person is putting in all the effort and the other isn't, it's eventually all going to fall apart when the one who is giving the effort stops. Great relationships are mutual. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you should be with them. A relationship needs more than love. A person I know really needs to hear this. They insisted too much on being in something with me when I told them that it wasn't going to work. We wanted opposite types of relationships. that in the end it all ended pretty bad. Some people just think that love is going to make things magically work, without even considering that sometimes people that love each other are just incompatible to be together. Love isn't everything. At least not love, as most people interpret it. I wouldn't even say it necessarily takes work. Two people can love each other deeply while being terrible for each other, treating each other poorly, etc. All the love in the world doesn't compensate for lack of growth. If both people aren't growing and evolving over time, if the relationship doesn't foster growth and security, then love simply is irrelevant. It should go without saying, but you should always be on the same team, never adversarial. Love isn't merely a feeling, it's a dedication. It means caring about something more than yourself, and that's how it can persist even in the face of spite and strife. If you only stick around when it's easy, that's not love. That's convenience. Your partner should be kind to you and vice versa. It's not okay for your partner to scream at you or curse you out or deliberately hurt your feelings. This isn't to say that it never ever happens. We all are human and occasionally we mess up. But if they are not consistently kind to you, if they aren't sorry when they are mean, and if they repeat it, then that's a problem. If you wouldn't accept the behavior from a friend, then you absolutely should not accept it from a partner. The idea that it's normal for your partner to be mean to you is so freaking bad, and I've seen way too many people accept crappy relationships because they think love means never having to say sorry and that getting screamed at is acceptable. Lots of people are actually looking for contradictions in relationships. As Bo Burnham put it, you want someone insanely hot, but not someone obsessed with their looks. You want someone sensitive but not weak. A lot of people want someone who won't use them for anything, but who they can use themselves to fulfill their own needs or desires. I think the worst part of growing up for me has been the utter realization that lots of people want to use who they can to fit their own ends. It's not exactly always malicious, just practical. You grow more sensible as you age, and so you're less willing to tolerate relationships of any kind where you don't derive some sort of benefit. The result for me has been that I'm less trusting and more guarded, which only hinders finding genuine connections in love or friendship. Sometimes you'll be abusive without being aware of it. I don't think people understand stonewalling. Silent treatment for extended periods of time is abusive, not talking about taking a breather or needed a bit of personal space. It's the one I've experienced the most. A lot of people think it's a good way to avoid conflict, but it's brutal. When you look at someone with rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. It's easy to dismiss toxic characteristics because of love. Sometimes you won't get that clarity until you're a safe distance away. Not everyone will value your relationship like you do. It's very important to make sure you both have the same expectations and values. Otherwise, like two unequally yoked animals, you will continue to walk in circles over the same ground. Once you get beyond the initial lust heart-fluttery part of a romantic relationship, you begin to realize that love looks a lot different than the rom-com movies. It's not embracing in the pouring rain, kissing under the Eiffel Tower, trying to board the plane to convince them not to go. Relationships are often unglamorous, and while a committed relationship can be very rewarding, there's more to it than you and your hot partner canoodling and going on trips for the rest of your lives. Relationships can take a lot of work, some of it that you will never see coming in the early days. Sometimes things don't work. Even if both parties are objectively wonderful people. Even if they love each other and enjoy their lives together. Sometimes things just get in the way and force you to make a hard choice. Over the course of 10 years, the person you fell in love with could transform into someone you'd never have gone on a second date with had they been that way when you met. Eventually one of you has to die first. Nua, my husband, and I are going to die at the exact same time when we're old, very wrinkly, and cuddling in our retirement home bed. I already decided, and purchased the cyanide pills. If it endangers your mental health, it's not worth it. Fixer-upper. Relationships often lead to disaster. Also, having children to fix your relationship. Terrible idea. Just don't. Human up and fix your issues, don't drag a Band-Aid baby into it. OMG, I never understood this one, even less so after I had children of my own. I've been married for 15 years. I cannot think of a time our marriage was more stretched to the brink than in the first couple of months after bringing our first son home. Bring together a huge life change, We were 36 and 39 when he was born. Lots of hormones, lack of sleep, changing schedules, the chaos that comes with a newborn, and we were hanging on by a thread sometimes. I can't imagine taking a foundering marriage and bringing a newborn into it to make it better. Yikes. Everybody has a past life, history, things you may not like. It's easy to love all of their great experiences, but it can be challenging to accept some of their past life that disturbs you or you worry may be a problem still. A very challenging part of relationships is getting out of your head on who they used to be and focus more on who they are now and how they make you feel. It's perfectly okay to want some space every once in a while between you and your partner. Happy wife, happy life is bullshit. Just because one is happy doesn't mean the other one is too. Happy house, happy spouse is the way to go. What are some hard to swallow pills about relationships? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.